Welcome back. We're at episode 5 now, back to the Targeted Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars and second lockdown from the COVID pandemic. This is also our first live episode, so everything is going to be unfiltered and raw, so y'all get ready. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Sahid and Omar.
Hey guys, the two of you that are watching.
We're about to have like 300 people. What are you talking about, man?
Like, didn't you know Nicholas invited Rihanna? She's about to do it.
Oh, you shot your shot? Okay. Yeah.
Not yet. I'm gonna wait until we have a few more views. Maybe like a couple hundred views. I'm shooting my shot, man, for sure.
Episode 6, Rihanna. Episode 7, Obama.
Yes, let's do it. Gotta shoot. You gotta shoot the shot, man. All right, so what are we starting with? Are we starting off with the cover? Let's do it. Let's get that out of the way, man. I'm ready to talk about some Star Wars stuff.
All right. Sahid, is that you? Are you watching TV?
No, I was trying to share your live stream, but the funny thing
all right,
is,
I'm booting him off. We need a 2:30. Nicholas.
I lasted only 2 minutes.
Wow. Thank God I'm editing these videos later.
You're editing it, but we're live right now.
You said we're live and raw. That's what you said.
All right. I'm gonna get back into this. All right. So I guess I'll start off, right. So we wanted to start talking about COVID. So COVID part 2. Our first episode, we'd actually talked about COVID. Actually, it was actually pretty long. I watched that actually for a couple times. We spent about 30-40 minutes just talking about, like my situation with that. But so now we're at COVID 2.0. This is the second wave. It's funny because a lot of people think this is, the third wave. It's not a third wave. The first wave, we just never got out of it. And, it was starting to slowly, I don't want to say die down, but it was, I guess the states started really, cranking down on COVID restrictions and stuff like that. It started spreading less, and now all of a sudden there's a new strain. And so interestingly, someone I know who works with another agency had mentioned to me about maybe 3 weeks to a month before, the media got word of like a, second wave, right, or a new strain. And, this person had told me that they're tracking, another strain that was coming out of like Texas, and it was actually had mutated to find a way around your mask, but it was less deadly. So again, this is just word of mouth. It wasn't a scientist that told me, but take it for what you will. But anyhow, so now I think the main thing I wanted to get into with this conversation is, their FDA is really, really trying to push this a couple of different vaccines. I think one is from Pfizer, and another one I just read earlier today. Man, I forgot the name of the company. I don't know if you guys.
Moderna.
Sorry.
Moderna.
Really? That's not the one I read. Okay, so there's more than 2 then.
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's Pfizer, Moderna,
okay,
Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there is Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, so we're looking at
Johnson. The funny thing about them is that they pushed the vaccine, but they had to stop their process because there were some side effects. So they had to cancel for a second.
Exactly what I want to talk about.
And I think they're back in the game. Also, Trump's one of his cronies at the White House said that that the vaccine should be available by December 11th for like public use, and a couple of companies are pushing for like emergency permission to use.
Yeah, and so that's what I was reading. I forgot the name of the company, but yeah, so they were saying within like they would have it available for 18,000 people within the next like 30 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So my sister, she's she's studying her PhD in infectious diseases, right? And this is, not, she's not, just like a chiropractor talking about, a virus. It's not just, some, I don't know, some random people, that aren't even in the field talking about it. But she was telling me, she was like, she made a really good point that, one thing you have to be careful of is the side effects, and a lot of what they're doing. And it's funny because, it's the FDA that's approving this. But like, how much is it going to affect you, especially for these like first, wave of vaccine, or maybe even like the second wave? Like, what are the side effects? They're skipping human trials for, for a lot of these, like, I don't want to grow like a, like a second head, third ear, or like, I already went through, the issues with COVID before, and, talked about it in our first episode, but I'm not ready to take that risk again, and I want to, I'm all for a vaccine, but
I think that's the question, right? You have these vaccines being rushed out, they're skipping trials.
Yeah.
If let's say one came out next week, I mean, are y'all gonna jump at taking this vaccine?
Nope.
There's a couple things though. I don't know if they're skipping trials, right? They are definitely rushing through this. This is definitely being rushed. Make no mistake. Not sure if they're skipping trials, but I think a couple of things to consider is that, number one, the vaccine will be available to everyone, like for sure, right? So we're talking about this, but I don't think it'll be available to anyone on this call because we're younger, right? We're not frontline workers. And I mean, again, we're younger and not at risk, right? But it does bring like a valid question, right? Like I'm pro science, but I don't get like, I'm not the first to get technology, right? So I'm not going to be the first to put something in my body that is rushed. Like when it became a popular thing, or not popular, when COVID became a thing in the US, there were estimates of like the vaccine like waiting till 18 months to create, and now apparently December 11th, like it's here. So I mean, of course, to the experts, Dr. Fauci, all the experts. But yeah, I'm like with you guys. Of course, it's good to be like skeptical, especially if it's politically motivated by a large guy that's doesn't know what he's doing. Who says don't be afraid of COVID after taking steroids and $100,000 freaking got the best medical team in the world is like, I beat COVID. Don't be afraid of it. Shut up. Yeah, I can't wait for that guy to get out of office. But yeah, Moderna stock, that's the stock, one of the companies that's getting the Renovas up by a lot, as you can imagine. But yeah.
I guess now would be the time to invest in some of those companies.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I actually invested in Moderna. I think it was Moderna like a while ago.
Oh, Moderna. Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah,
for a while it sounded like you were talking about Madonna. I'm like, what?
No, I mispronounced it. I just typed it up now. I'm like, I'm being an idiot.
Yeah, Madonna's developing a vaccine.
Yeah.
It's going to be on her new album.
Madonna's the Illuminati. It's all about that, the vaccine, and her and Bill Gates together.
Hey, don't get the Illuminati on us. Don't piss those guys off.
He already said it now. They're probably listening in right now.
Well, if they do, it's Nicholas's fault. I mean, he's the one that tuned in Rihanna to our podcast. After Madonna, it was all about Rihanna.
Okay, so now you're accusing Rihanna of being a part of the Illuminati. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Back on topic. So, like these companies are doing well right now. I'll like pose to you guys. Look, COVID's a thing. I'm actually driving 16 to 19 hours to Louisiana to see my family this year. My brother just had to cancel his flight from California because they're on lockdown. So I wish we can get our shit together on this. I see a lot of people either just not enough about it or kind of just complaining about, well, so if we can do this and pro operations, then why can't we go out and be normal. And I think what kind of frustrates me about that is that if we all wore a mask, if we all just abided, if we had just stronger leadership on this, right, we can be like other countries that have recovered, like Taiwan has recovered, New Zealand's recovered, Australia's recovered, right?
Yeah.
So those guys have now mind you, those guys are islands, so it's a little bit easier for them, but still, right, we can do a better job at this. And Omar, to your point, I think a lot of the reasons why the restrictions kind of went down was because we just are fatigued. Like at the beginning, people were super scared, and then we just got coronavirus fatigue, and we're just like, whatever. If I die, I die.
Yeah.
And I mean, the unfortunate thing is that it's not about you; it's about who you infect, right? That's what scares me, right? I don't want to bring that crap to my family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So African Americans are the highest at risk, right? They're the ones that's dying the most because they're the ones that have the essential jobs. So you can look at those numbers. African Americans are the ones taking the hit for it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Guys, we're
crazy. So I was looking at some numbers again today. Right. So we're at about 58 million cases worldwide. The US is close to a fifth of that.
Lord.
Yeah, we're at 12 million. We actually, 12 and a half million or something. We're over 250,000 deaths. And, again, we talked about this in episode 1 is, when are the right changes going to happen? And that's going to be not when enough people die. It's going to be, when the right people die, right? Quote unquote, right people. Right. And, look, I mean, the whole White House staff pretty much has got infected. Not the whole, to what we know, but, it was definitely going around. And it's, by this point, it's, probably been in every single city and town and, village or whatever in this country. We have 19,500 towns and cities in this country. Yes, I actually looked that up because I was just randomly curious. Right?
Nerd.
That's good, man. Do your research. That's right.
Okay. Says the guy with this medium shirt that says black and nerdy. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy if you think about it. That's, we have was it 250,000 deaths. That's forgive my math, 4, 5, 6 times, whatever, 4, 5, 6 people per town, every single town in the US. That's enough to cover that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyhow, I mean, no, you go on. I was going to say so. I was going to slightly change the topic.
Well, I mean, it's frustrating. I wish that I think I wish there's just so many people complaining about it. I saw some TikTok girls say that she voted for Biden and her parents are complaining about how, Biden wants us all to be slaves and wear masks. I'm like, well, what do you know about slavery for starters?
God. Yeah. Good point.
It's just that stupid mentality, right? A lot of people are struggling out there, making tough decisions, not seeing their family because others just can't get on board. And I read something that if 95% of the people wore masks, this will be done in a few weeks.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing. Last topic for me on this is that, have you guys watched the movie Interstellar? I'm sure you guys have.
Of course. Yeah. I pretty much memorized the movie by now.
Nice. Okay. It's a great movie, right? So remember Matt Damon was talking about how, talking to Matthew McConaughey's on how humanity, we care about our family, our friends, whatever. We don't care about us as a species, right? Now, mind you, this case is extreme because talking about mass extinction on Earth and them sending people somewhere else because everyone on Earth's going to die. Do you guys know the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Come on, Omar, Mister. I memorized the whole line.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I was going to bring it up, and I was like, wait, maybe it's a different Interstellar.
I'm going to be honest. I actually stopped listening about 20 seconds ago. I was distracted on my other screen looking at something.
Okay, so Nicholas.
Get off Pornhub and get back on the podcast, man.
So Nicholas,
Tech Hub. Tech hub.
That scene where pretty much the whole concept was humanity doesn't care about us as a species, but we only care about our friends and family, right? And we can't make those tough decisions. Now, this isn't like as simple as or as rough as us sending a few humans to another planet because we're all going to die here. That's the premise of that movie. But this is as simple as just wearing a mask, right? Abiding by, just social distancing rules, right? And I get the fatigue. I will admit myself, there have been like 2 times where I kind of just ventured out where there's a populace. I would argue that those were like kind of life changing events. One was like the 50th March on Washington. Like I attended that one. The other was that Sunday when it was official that Trump was going to get booted out of office and Kamala Harris was going to be our first, African American, South Asian vice president, Southeast Asian vice president. So, I mean, I like to think those were momentous occasions that I ventured out and broke quarantine. But, I mean, I just wish that we'd all kind of just hunkered down, did our part, and just get this done. I lied. One last part too, Omar. So, I'm going to send you guys a link to this video too that was talking about pandemics. So I looked up the Spanish flu pandemic that lasted about 2 years. And pretty much the whole premise of that video, they did all this science and talked about just the history of pandemics. They say, unfortunately, a pandemic won't end until we have a vaccine for it, right? So, I mean, and I believe that because, I mean, just look at how crappy we're doing now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can't stay indoors long enough. We can't.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say something that a lot of people aren't gonna like, and I hope I'm wrong, but for a lot of different reasons, I guess a lot of people are really just waiting for 2021. Well, hate to break it to everyone, it's not going to be much different. There's not going to be much difference. I mean, if you're talking about, like Trump and Biden, as far as presidency goes, that's a different story. But we're still going to be quarantined. If anything, we're going to be quarantined even more. I just hope that, when Biden comes in office after his inauguration, that, he has, unlike what happened this time with this administration, and it was a Wild West where allowed every state, every governor to do their own thing. And, but anyhow, I hope that this time that there's some more support for businesses, and especially small businesses, where a lot of these, like, the big corporations, like, stole all of this money from, took out these loans that were meant for small businesses. They didn't even need it. And
Kanye
the
West
owners
got a loan, by the way.
Are you
Kanye
serious?
West in his business got like the PPP loan.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So, yeah, no, to your point, that's on the money. We need strong leadership. We need everyone to abide by it. And we need to get over ourselves and realize that it's not, a fascist dictatorship trying to take over like lives by asking you to wear a mask and stay indoors for a little bit, right? It's not about you and your family. It's about everyone. And look, I want to travel too. I want to listen, like the live music industry, by the way, this is what it's not talked about, is being decimated, right? Decimated. As you can imagine, they can't really do anything. So like we can help them by doing our part, by making sure this gets just done as quickly as possible. So
yeah, it was a Rihanna Illuminati conspiracy to take down Kanye. They found out he was trying to run for president.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a conspiracy that Trump lost. I mean, how can he lose? He only had like 250,000 people down his watch. I mean, how could he lose? He only made fun of like John McCain and John Lewis. How did he lose those states?
So I do want to say something though. All the crazy things that people talk about, with COVID, and I don't really want to take the conversation too far into this angle, but but I'm going to say it anyway.
Do it.
I do not believe that COVID-19 as a virus is like normal or like natural. I don't think so. I think that it was created in a lab somewhere. And I think that, it was probably just, like accidentally leaked or, just escaped somehow or something, some lab. My my doctor, actually my primary care doctor, who's also actually studying his for a second PhD in infectious diseases, shared some stories with me, which is actually, this is a couple of months ago. It was actually pretty interesting talking about some of his old colleagues from his, from med school, and they ended up, recently, about a year ago, I'd say, um, like I think what he said, they went to either Africa or either he said Africa or he was specific and said South Africa. I can't remember, but he said that they're one of his colleagues went there to like research a coronavirus, and he heard from him like once or twice or something, and just stopped hearing from him, like never heard from him again. And he's like, it was just really weird because they had always just kept in touch. But anyhow, even he himself was like, always just baffled by the things that I was going through, right? And like, the pericarditis, the costochondritis, all this other stuff, the confusion, and all the stuff that I was, still trying to recover from when I was sick with COVID. And so he was always, just like, don't worry, we're going to get through this. It's not going to be, a quick race. It's going to be a marathon. So but I promise you, we'll get through it. Just be patient with me. So this is the kind of guy that I'm talking about, right? Just very patient. But he was even like one day he was a little fed up, with like the just random symptoms and stuff with me. And he was like, man, I just got to tell you, I don't think that this is normal, this virus. He's like, I think it was created in a lab somewhere. This is my doctor telling me in a visit. My doctor, right? And yes, he's a primary care, but he's also studying for his PhD in infectious diseases as well, right? I mean, how do you explain?
Is he an MD?
Yes. Yeah. So how do you explain things like, in my opinion, again, I'm not trying to take the conversation this whole angle. We can talk about this.
Yeah.
Maybe not talk about it another time, but I'm just saying, like, how do you explain, stuff like the confusion, the blacking out, right? Just affecting you neurologically. Like, how the hell do you explain that? Loss of taste, loss of sense of smell? Sure, okay, I could see that. But then developing inflammation. I've never been, like a heart patient, like an inflamed heart. The costochondritis, the swelling of like the joints around like the rib cage and stuff like that. I mean, all sorts of random stuff. It's a freaking flu, for God's sake. What kind of flu does stuff like that? And the way like every day it was just like cycling through different, it was like the virus was like genetically encoded to have all these different things, right? I don't know, man. It was like a chimera of different things. That was my piece, and I'm done.
So a couple things on that, Omar. So for starters, thank you for sharing that. Like when we see about these skeptics that talk about like COVID, they make these numbers up about like, oh, only 1% of people are dying of this, or only 90%. There's a 99% survival rate, and they don't know that there are other aspects of this.
Yes, it's not about the deaths.
We don't know. Like number one, you're giving like a middle finger to people who has died.
Yeah.
And number two, you're the people who are survivors, right? You tell me that you're gonna have to deal with an inflamed heart for like a while now. That breaks my heart.
So my doctor said, this is a lifelong problem I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
It'll go away, it'll come back. It'll go away, it'll come back.
Yeah, and that's really frustrating. Number two, the point I want to make, and just so Facebook doesn't flag us to say that we're doing fake news.
Yeah, right. Facebook's been on a rampage.
Look, I have a lot of conservative friends. They're all in Parler now because they're getting flagged for their stuff. But hi guys. So no, but Dr. Fauci says that there's no evidence that this is like created in the lab. So it's
So did you say there is or is not?
Is not. So the scientific community says that there's no evidence suggesting this was in the lab. However, to your point, Omar, we know how oppressive like China is, right? You know what they're doing with Uyghur Muslims. You know what they're doing with Hong Kong, right? So it does kind of shock me a little bit that they can go this far to oppress and shut down these ethnic groups or these regional areas, but they can't shut down their wet markets, which turns out a new pandemic virus every 5-7 years, right? So it's a little sketch. That being said, again, Scientific community says that it's not made in the lab. So
Yeah.
put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I said, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. What I said, even though, contrary to what Dr. Fauci said, and I trust in his, knowledge as a veteran scientist, someone who's dedicated his life to science and to viruses and whatnot, right? But I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I did not imply that the virus is not harmful. So absolutely agree with Saeed. Deaths is not the most efficient way to determine how dangerous the virus is, and unfortunately that's just what it is. People say, well, the normal seasonal flu killed this many people and the coronavirus only killed this many people, COVID, whatever, and that's just such an ignorant argument. But
it's heartless.
Yeah.
It's heartless.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. My niece actually had COVID, by the way, a couple months ago. I never told you guys. And now she's, has like these really serious like lung issues now, and she's been recovered. But
like, again, like, can we care about us as a species, as humanity, not care about, oh, I want to get a haircut, or it's seconds to just get a haircut.
There's the guy who just went out and got one.
The thing about the haircut for my barber, I want to say this though: super careful, distance, mask the whole time, making sure like
I think that's what every barber or whatever person you're going to see is going to say, man.
What?
I mean,
That's gonna be a little bit different when I go back home.
So how are they cutting your hair? Are they using like a long broom, Saeed? You should be like Nicholas. He just goes and like, touches an electrical socket. He gets electrocuted and his hair just gets thrown up. He doesn't even need to see a barber.
I will say this. My barber is now twice as much now.
Wow.
Like, I pay twice as much to get my hair cut simply because they can't fit as many people in a shop anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's less.
Right? I'm a small business owner too, and I fully respect that.
Immigrant, Panamanian, so Afro-Caribbean, right? So definitely supporting. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I feel like those groups do more to protect everyone, right? Like they adhere by the social guidance standards. I definitely appreciate what he's trying to do, in terms of just being safe and whatever. And I definitely don't mind patronizing that. But I just can't again, like if we all just got our shit together, we'll get over this.
Yeah.
But
I think if they had a more consistent message in the beginning, I think that would have helped out things a lot too, right? Because Dr. Fauci saying something, the Trump administration saying, well, pretty much the exact opposite, right? Like the only thing anybody really knew to do was to wear a mask, and then you have those people who feel like that's infringing upon their rights as an American, which is
slavery.
So, they just need to go ahead and lock it down for a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months or whatever, and just let it. Hopefully,
Yeah, Trump saying that it's like the flu and it's going to disappear like a miracle over summer did not age well.
Well, of course it would disappear for him, right? Because he can get the all the high-end treatments that nobody.
Yeah, he gets a high-end treatment. I was looking up the cost of that. That was like over like $100,000 treatment that he got.
Of course, the president can't lose him.
Drugs, steroids, or can we? Cocktails of vitamins. It's just $100,000 treatment that he got. Taxpayer money. So,
yeah, man.
Cool. All right, Nicholas.
Well, wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Yeah. Got mine. All right, Nicholas. You want to talk?
Get ready to get into some of that geeky stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm Nicholas to shrill a little bit, like.
I don't know about all that. But it's just, at some point, man, I just get tired of talking about COVID all the time, hearing about it all the time.
Fatigue.
I know it's not going anywhere, right? I have the same fatigue everybody else is. I know it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And just talking about it like ad nauseum, just like, yes, okay, I get it. And it's not going to change what I'm doing. It's not going to change my behavior. I already wear a mask. I don't really go out, right? Just had a birthday right here in the house, not doing anything. You know what I mean? So it's here. Like it's just part of life.
Yeah,
now,
I
man.
mean,
So I'll just
if I had a
enjoy
face
teleworking.
mask, if I had a face mask that looked like a thong, I would feel the same way.
First of all, I get all my face masks from weardiop.com. Black-owned business. Black-owned business. Support your small businesses. These guys make great masks, and all purchases go towards a charity
Oh wow.
that they're supporting in, I believe it's Michigan or whatnot. They raised like over 6 figures. So
Nice.
Instead of buying a little crappy surgical mask or whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Support somebody that's trying to do something out here. All right. Instead of wrapping your face in a t-shirt, Omar, or not wearing anything at all. All right.
I love how niggas
In
is
a
rubbing his
t-shirt,
charity
what?
face more. That's what they call a slam dunk. He dunked on you. You know what a slam dunk is, Omar? You know what a slam dunk is?
Yeah, that's when you kick the ball through the end zone, right? Like yeah.
Sure.
All right, gotcha. Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, got you.
Long live Tiger Woods.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. Greatest golfer of all time. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. The Mandalorian is out. I think it's on episode 4 now, right? 4 episodes in now.
Yep.
And I love this show, guys. Absolutely love this show. I'm a huge Star Wars fan already, but I like the way.
Nerd.
Well, huh?
Nerd.
Whatever. I like what they're doing with this story here, man. So, these first 4 episodes have been pretty good. They haven't disappointed me yet. So, Omar, I think I'll start off with you. You said you noticed something in this last episode here that you were gonna see if Saheed and I noticed or not. So, what was that?
Yeah, you say you didn't like it. I kind of want to hear. I'm surprised you guys didn't get what I told you guys too about the cast member that's like in jeans in the show.
I missed that, man. I totally missed that.
So I'm looking at what it was called again, actually. So the scene where disclaimer, we're gonna go over major spoilers. So if you have not yet finished episode 4 of The Mandalorian on season 2, and you don't want spoilers, I recommend tuning away. All right. So the scene where they're in that lab, and one of the 2 guys at like that workstation, they're talking about like the test subjects. Do you know what I'm getting at? They said something about the M.
Oh, the M count?
M count. That's what it was. So I was trying to look up. The M count.
Yeah.
Did you catch on to that? Do you know what that means?
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, they're not gonna get it's canon now. They're not gonna lose it.
It's in the lore now, man. It's not going anywhere.
But
Yeah.
I thought that was. That's what I'm looking for. It was
Stupid?
uncanonized.
No. So when this star
Well, I do know. Sorry to cut you off. I do know that George Lucas. I read an article a couple of months ago. Him saying that he did want to actually try to find a way to bring that concept back with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He either said the Mandalorian or he said the new trilogy, whatever it'll be.
George Lucas? He's no longer part
George
of
Lucas.
He's
Yeah.
no longer
So he's still in the background.
Or was
He's still in the
suggesting the
background.
idea. Yeah, for the lack of
He's
a
an executive producer. They just like sit him there and like just tie his name to it. That's what he's doing. He's not. I don't think it's part of the story anymore.
Well, I mean, they all still meet up at his like ranch, don't they?
Yeah, he's still involved. Don't
Yeah.
think he's not involved. That's his baby. Even if I sold it, I would still be there. Like, no, this is BS. We need to go back.
Disney bought it from him. Like they're doing.
No, they are doing their own thing. They are, but I do think they're also consulting with him in certain areas, right? And I think that's something that, and I think that's something that he did vouch for bringing back. Is the whole midi-chlorian thing. I think that the idea of it wasn't actually that bad. At the time, I didn't care when they had mentioned it. I was actually pretty intrigued. And it wasn't until other people introduced their perspectives later on, a few years later, and I was just like, it actually is kind of cheesy. it is kind of take away from the whole force.
Well, it's like a power from Dragon Ball Z now, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it that way.
I'm not seeing that connection.
Think about it. Your
midichlorian count, the power level, absolutely, yes. That's
why
I didn't
like
it.
in a tangible.
They try to make it tangible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
but the problem with Dragon Ball Z is that the power levels keep going up, and then you can't keep up track of the number anymore. It doesn't make any sense. I will say this though, to answer your point on what's canon now, and Nicholas, I'm sure you're the Jedi master of the Star Wars stuff. So
no, it's Omar.
But
I don't know. You're the one that got me on Rebels, by the way.
Yeah, I will say this though. So what happened was when Disney bought Star Wars, right? It broke up to two things: to canon and to legends, right? So the canon now was the original Star Wars episode 4 through 6, and then the George Lucas sequels 1 through 3, right? And then whatever Disney did afterwards, and they got like the comic books and games and things that kind of delve deeper into Luke Skywalker and everyone else. So that's what
everything that everybody expected to get some sort of payoff from.
Yeah.
They freaking just deleted all of it. Just axed it all. That pissed me off to no end, man. Because the Legends stuff, I still read the Legends books. I'm still like trying to make my way through some of the Legends material or whatever, but it's so much better. But what was interesting is that Luke was supposed to, there was a storyline where he went to the dark side and he became Emperor Palpatine's apprentice for a minute.
Oh crap. And, I didn't know that.
Palpatine had like cloned himself. I mean, there are some elements of those stories mixed into the movies. Obviously the movies didn't handle it very well at all. But that particular storyline resulted in like a real showcase of one, not only like Luke's abilities, but also Leia's as well, because she helped him break out of, the hold that Emperor Palpatine had on him. And then the whole my issue with the canon stuff is just basically to just kill Luke Skywalker's character. Entire this last sequel here just killed everything that people were
most powerful Force user in the universe died because he was tired.
Well, and it wasn't even that I was expecting him to be like the most powerful guy necessarily, but at the same time, you have someone who like is a representation of hope. The first movie is called A New Hope. That was Luke Skywalker. And then here comes the second sequel, and it's like, oh, I hate everything Jedi related now because I failed a student.
Thank you. It's so funny to say that because it was Mark Hamill actually said that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the guy. So here's the funny thing, and we've had this argument before. I both love and hate the second part of the new sequel, The Last Jedi. Right. I like that it was different. I hate that it kind of just flipped everything. Right. Because it was such a right turn from the original plan that they had, right? I mean, let's face it, the Force Awakens was a New Hope reboot. If you think about it, right?
Sure.
And I mean, I respect the guy for trying to be different, but at the same time, it was such a left field from the first movie, where they had to try to bring it all back in the last movie, and I hated it. It was, I really hated the last movie, but I only hate the last movie because the second movie just didn't do a great job.
I don't like hating on the third movie. I don't like hating on the third movie because the second one screwed it up. And they shouldn't have brought in that loser. I always forget his name. This is how unimportant he is. The director. Was it Rian Johnson?
I think it's
Rian Johnson did the second one.
Yeah, it was Rian Johnson. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about DC. I wasn't sure if he did the crappy DC movie.
Dude, if you want to have an episode about that, we can. All right, I'm happy to have an episode about that.
I love niggas getting hyped up about this every time we talk DC.
We'll do that, but we're gonna have to charge our viewers pay-per-view for that.
The second movie,
Yeah.
I'll say again, just like I said when it came out. If you hadn't been keeping up with Star Wars, if you hadn't really seen like the first movies and stuff, you would have loved this. I think you would have loved the second trilogy. I think you would have loved the second movie because it was different. You had like a lot of. It was a good story. Like it was a good movie. I just hate what they did with the characters in the movie. Like I was really, for anybody who like
that's
I
a
said,
good point.
a fan of Luke Skywalker, like the payoff that you were looking for, where it's like, yo, where's the green lightning that he learned how to do, or where's the fact that what made him a great Jedi? You didn't get
see
any
of that. Exactly. We didn't see anything because before that trilogy, we saw Luke Skywalker as still the young guy that just defeated the Empire, right?
Right.
And then what happened? Now you have like this, what was it, 30, 40 years or something, whatever the gap was. It was about 30 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's just this, weak, scared, cranky old man.
Old hermit, yeah.
Old hermit
Yeah.
for less of what he has already gone through in the past, which didn't make up. It didn't. The story just didn't add up. And like there was just so much inconsistency with his character, and they didn't even show us like one fight of his before he decided to go take a nap.
Exactly.
I want to see what those 30 years entail. Like, look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? When he fought the episode 4, technically the very first one, right? The guy was old, but he was like fighting like he was a young guy. Well, back in technology, I guess in those days.
Well,
that was
that
was that was the highlights of the action scene back then. But I mean, look, he stood toe to toe with Darth Vader, right? Guy who was much younger than him.
Much
and
stronger.
then
Yeah.
So
I mean, no, so Nicholas Jackson made a great point there, where in the sense that, so I'm not super duper into Star Wars. Like I've watched all the movies, I appreciate it, I know about it.
watch Rebels.
I have not watched Rebels.
Watch
Maybe
it.
Watch it one day, we'll see. But
For everyone here, I'll let you finish. Sorry.
No, but like
No. He doesn't get to finish. Watch Star Wars Rebels. Okay?
whatever.
And
I'm trying to give you kudos.
look out for Ezra Bridger.
I'm trying to
Thank you.
That's the young gun right there. I like that guy. Yep. Like the character.
If you really want to understand season 4 of The Mandalorian, watch Star Wars Rebels. It's on Disney Plus. It's animated, but well worth the time. One of the best
Star Wars that's another thing too. Sorry, Zahid. One last thing. Since Disney has taken over, it's like the movies will hit a couple of main points, but then you have to go through all this other material to have some of the story fleshed out. Like I feel like they should have put a little bit more of the backstory, a little bit more plot into the movies, because the movies were just like, boom, this is what's happening, new bad guy, boom, hey, Emperor Palpatine's back, boom,
yeah.
So it's like,
So Nicholas, what did you think of Star Wars Clone Wars?
Are you kidding me?
Go on, see.
You're silly. No. I was trying to give Nicholas his props though, about like, cause I'm not super into Star Wars, right? So I'm not like, I know like one of the big ones when they redid like the original series, when Han Solo didn't shoot first, like Guido, like people like were super pissed.
I'm not that bad. I did
not get it. But
I did not care.
But like, yeah. I mean, I like the second movie, but I hate it at the same time because I saw what it did to like the third movie, which was just, I thought it was crap, but other people liked it, and that's fine. Let me ask you guys this. So
sorry. Which third movie?
The last.
Come on, man.
You're talking about the last trilogy.
The last trilogy.
The Rise of Skywalker, where no Skywalker rose and they all died. That was the other thing. The disrespect to the Skywalker family. The last trilogy was supposed to wrap up the Skywalker story, and all we did was just kill everybody. And then they're all dead, and then Rey's like, hey, by the way, guys, I want to be a Skywalker now. And your son gave his life for me, so I'm a Skywalker now. Thanks.
I think Disney was like, you know what? We're wrapping this up. We're killing all the Skywalkers. We're starting a new thing now.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I would
they've
love
got
to see
40 years of Luke Skywalker's backstory to freaking tell some stories. So I'm waiting
No,
for something.
good point. Good point. So kind of going back to actually the Mandalorian.
yeah.
Nicholas
I know.
and I'm actually going to ask you, Nicholas, about like Gray Jedi, right? Sahid, are you familiar with that? Like the whole thing about Gray Jedi. I loved that concept because I thought I related to that a lot more than like pure light and pure dark, right? Like two, light side, dark side. But basically, like Ahsoka is a Gray Jedi, right? Like
My new
they
favorite
don't
character.
outright say it. Yep, absolutely. They don't outright say it, but do you think that the Mandalorian is gonna like go more into that? Because I
think
know it's
so.
not about Jedi or Sith, whatever, right? It's not about lightsabers and stuff like that. I hope we see it.
It's not
But-
binary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't think the series is really going to go too much into that, but I think it's going to allow for a spinoff with featuring Ahsoka Tano
Nice.
more than likely, where you'll get
Yeah,
you get all that stuff.
I know. Sahid's
So-
gonna be happy.
She's my new favorite character, man. So I hope I'm sure Rosario Dawson will do her justice, and hey,
Super
I'm about to
excited for
shoot
that.
my shot with Rosario too. You know what I mean?
Hey,
She can
let's
come on
do
here
it.
and talk about that too.
Star Wars Part 2 on our podcast.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys.
That'll be
this
episode 8.
ask you guys this question. So did you get the last part with the what's the Gina Carano's character's name? Whatever her name.
Yeah,
Storm, whatever. I don't know her
Yeah.
name. But they talk.
something Carr, Mara Carr, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But did you guys get the last part where they said that she was from Alderaan?
Yep.
So
Right.
I was wondering actually where they were going with that. So I
Yeah.
know so Alderaan was blown up. I
Yeah,
understand
she said
that,
she
right?
lost everything.
Right.
Like
She had that badge with the rebel symbol on it.
And did you notice the tattoo she has, by the way, as well, under her eye? I didn't notice it until that scene. It looked like the Rebel fleet, like a little small tattoo underneath her eye.
Oh man, I missed that.
I'm gonna Google that as you guys talk.
Yeah. I mean, she said she's not a joiner. I don't know if that has any significance to any of the other Star Wars lore. Does that sound familiar to any of you guys? You think guys know? Okay.
No.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see Star Wars. I like the Mandalorian so far. I actually like the second season more than I like the first season. Go figure.
I don't know yet. Jury's
Yeah.
still out for me, but I do like how it's like a Western set in the Star Wars universe, and you got like this lone
Yeah.
ranger type guy out there,
So they did
Well-
a really good job with painting, like the Mandalorian. I guess, but well, I mean, as far as like him being a Mandalorian or like a bounty hunter, like that theme, I thought that was great. So I actually think it's less of they call it the Mandalorian, but it's more of him really being a bounty hunter than really being a Mandalorian, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to change that now with this season, right? We're trying to bring him further back to his Mandalorian roots, and I thought that was interesting. The whole thing with like the other, Mandalorians.
Yeah. So the Mandalorian story to me right now, it's that typical like on the run storyline, where you like got these two people that are on the run. So I don't know if you've played the game The Last of Us, right? Or better yet, I don't know if you guys watched this, The Punisher season 2, where they were both like him and he was taking care of this little girl, and they're both on like the run, like all these authorities or whatever. So it's kind of the same concept, and he's kind of like doing these little jobs to kind of help other people. So I really like that storyline that they're doing. I'm excited to see Rosario Dawson there, so that'll be awesome. So
Yeah, we get it, man. We get it. Rosario Dawson. All right.
whatever.
All right.
Don't judge me.
All right. No, I'm wondering what Baby Yoda has, what he has to do with everything too.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the Empire, so you still have the Empire out there in the Outer Rim, like doing their thing or whatever. They're trying to get the baby. So I'm wondering if, the Emperor was obviously still alive this whole time, right?
Yeah.
If they're he was trying to use him to, add to his force abilities or make that part of the cocktail, to make his clones and everything.
Mhm.
So I'll be curious to see like what's to come of this kid, you know?
So that's an interesting point. I actually wasn't even thinking about the Emperor. So basically, like they're implying, right, the M count, right? So they're extracting, whatever it is, and they took that from the blood sample from the mini Yoda, so that they could build like these super soldiers, right? Like super force user soldiers. I guess to build like another army, like a whole other army or something. So that's I thought that's where they were going, using it as you say, like for, kind of bring back the Emperor or whatever, like clone him. That would be really interesting because if there's one thing that we know, the main thing that's been consistent in like all, what is it, 3 or 4 trilogies now, 3 trilogies, right? Is they just freaking love the Emperor Palpatine. They just can't let go of him.
Yeah.
And which I think is just really stupid. I think he should have been long gone. Just only mention his name, sure, in this last trilogy, right? But anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping that that new guy that came from in the
Snoke.
in the sequel trilogy, yeah, Snoke. I thought I was really hoping he was gonna be something because again, I've been reading the comics, right? So it's implied that he and Luke Skywalker fought at some point, and that's how he got the scars and stuff.
Well,
would have been cool to see that in a vision or something at least. This all-powerful guy, but just killed by his own lightsaber.
Okay, that's the annoying thing about the second movie, the Last Jedi, because it doesn't answer the questions. Movie, none of the questions, just opens up more questions, which they posed in the third movie, which was rushed and just didn't seem together, and there's a lot of fan service and it's.
By the way, funny. I just checked. That tattoo is a Rebel Alliance tattoo under it. It's a. I just looked up her name and I forgot it.
Gina Carrera.
Yeah, in the show.
Well, she was a Rebel soldier though, right?
I think was she a drop soldier or something? I don't know.
I think she was a Rebel soldier.
Work with the Empire? No, she did not. Obviously. Okay.
No. Cara Dune. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Totally off with her name.
Yeah. Car, whatever it was I said. I'm thinking of Mara Jade. That's why I think I mixed it up. I was really hoping, and at the start of episode 9, even though this is not Mandalorian, that they would have gone into more of like, Mara Jade and, that whole thing. But I think they kind of started trying to mirror that story a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I mean, what I really hope is like for the Mandalorian, like really, it would be interesting to see how it like connects to the next trilogy, but while also leaving enough room, because there's a lot of room for story where Mandalorian's happening. So again, from the whole Star Wars Rebels series, and now Ahsoka's coming back in the picture, the old Mandalorians are coming back in the picture, right? And I would love
Ezra Bridges. I think it's going to be in there.
There's a huge potential for Ezra Bridges' story to really just expand there. And, I thought they did such a phenomenal job touching on so many different things without like, in Rebels, without like contradicting anything. Like it had such a good plot with no plot holes. Like it's legit Sahid, something like you would really appreciate because you could try to pick it apart. And I did not notice like really any single plot holes. They did such a phenomenal job with that. I wish that if they took that amount of care that they, like into the actual trilogies. So Mandalorian is very different. And it's going to be interesting to see how some of that Rebel story is going to merge over into this and how they're going to show it because it's a very different theme.
Yeah, well, let's see. Maybe I'll try to binge it when I'm like home for Thanksgiving. Like there for a couple of days.
You're home every day. We're in a pandemic.
Whatever.
And what did he just tell us earlier today? For the past few months, he's been trying to beat that secret boss in the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Right? Yeah. Spends all this time playing Final Fantasy VII, but
single guy, lives alone, by the way, ladies. Has
fake news.
He has a Monday to Friday 9 to 5. For all we know, his evenings are free. And his weekends.
Just having his computer.
I was gonna say something, but I
love
don't
you
know
guys
who's
are
watching.
fine
But
here.
I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you.
there.
Back to Mandalorian. Favorite character in Mandalorian. That's not that you see so far.
Wait, that's what so far?
That you've seen so far. So
Oh,
we
that you've
can't say
seen.
like Ahsoka Tano yet
I
because
know. Damn it.
not there yet. I'm sure she shows up to be my favorite character, but can I talk about Baby Yoda? Like the damn thing's so cute and has this way of just making cute things that I'm surprised they haven't made like $1 trillion selling like Baby Yoda dolls yet. Like why
Thank
isn't that
you.
like
I actually thought they would have.
Well, I'm
yeah
sure
why
that's not an accident.
yeah why is that not the new Tickle Me Elmo?
Thank you.
like
That's exactly what I said before or
like
thought.
yeah
Yeah.
that's like a totally a
Dude,
thing.
one episode, the first episode of season 1 of the whole show, he was a huge deal. He went viral, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be the next Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Missed opportunity.
Or when he stole that kid's like food or whatever. Like adorable. Or when he was eating the frog's eggs.
Yeah,
That was
That was
Hey,
hilarious.
he's
That
a little
was
evil,
hilarious.
man. He's gonna be a Sith. He's gonna be Darth Yoda.
it's so me not knowing crap about Star Wars, I thought that he was eating the eggs and somehow incubating them and something special. Like, nope, he's just eating them.
Yeah, like
That's right.
aliens, just
This
like
is
that,
straight
like
murder.
aliens. It's gonna
Yeah,
pop
He
out.
doesn't know any better.
Murdering the frog race. The final race that the little critters eat an egg. Straight up eating them.
Oh man, they had like 30 eggs. They were straight. Boy was hungry.
More like a 25 eggs when he was done.
All right, so if we lived in the Star Wars universe, we know Nicholas would have been Darth Nicholas.
You think I'll be on the dark side, man?
Yep. Yeah.
Good
After
guy.
that comment,
Good guy. Deep down.
look. After that comment, it's only 30 eggs. Reminds me of like Anakin, at the end of like episode 3, taking out those kids in the Jedi Temple.
I mean, I think that's a little different, man. I think that's a little different. These were still eggs. They hadn't even been developed yet. It wasn't until he saw that the little toad thing swimming around out of the eggs
That's
that
true.
he was like, oh,
That's true.
maybe I shouldn't be. You
They're
could
like
tell
little
he was like, oh,
Draculas.
well,
yeah.
what's funny about that though is that Anakin still redeemed himself after like killing all those kids, right?
That's right.
He still like,
Oh yeah,
God.
yeah.
after that. Can I little switching topic? The Rise of Skywalker. Can I complain about that kiss between Rey and Kylo Ren? Like what the hell?
You know what? I
That was so
actually,
stupid.
I thought it was really awkward.
He killed his own father, which is
Yeah.
supposed to Rey like makes out with him at the end. I'm like, are you kidding me?
it wasn't earned. It wasn't
Yeah,
It wasn't
very
earned.
forced.
Kiss. It was just like, okay, we're kissing now. It didn't
It's like
even
this
make
is a
sense.
guy, this is a female. You just guys are meant to
Wait,
kiss.
but weren't they cousins?
I don't think they were.
No, they weren't cousins, man.
Because
But-
now I'm forgetting. Because I never went back
He's a-
and watched any of
She's a
the last
Palpatine.
3.
He's a
Right.
Palpatine.
She's a
He's a
Palpatine.
Skywalker. He kills his own father,
Oh
Which
yeah,
Rey loved. and then she makes out with him like after they fight together for a second.
So
I don't know,
honestly-
I thought it was awkward.
So honestly, like in the movie, right, I was like, as you're watching it and you watch her heal him and then you watch him heal her, I was like, please don't kill Ben off. Like, please don't kill Ben. Please don't kill Ben. Please don't kill Ben. And then
Right.
somehow like the kiss like takes all his energy and then she wakes up and he doesn't. I was like, damn.
Which is just more questions now. So like if you can heal people with like source, like why didn't it kill her when she healed like him earlier?
Because she's the great and powerful Rey.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
Okay. She's basically the Kristen Stewart of Star Wars.
Oh, come on! I actually like the actress.
She had some good moments, but she could have definitely been a little bit more colorful. I think. I just don't think she really sold the role, and I admit it's not all her fault. The plot was just whack. I don't think they picked a good antagonist. I didn't think he did a great job either. I never really felt like
The
any
guy
real sense of like,
wasn't very intimidating at all.
no,
Like,
not the least bit.
Kylo Ren.
yeah,
Yeah.
not at all.
Like they could have put Kevin Hart in there and he probably would have come off more intimidating.
I don't know.
Like,
I think he did a good job.
4'9"
I just think it's the material.
Yeah,
I think he did
it
a
was
good job.
I think it was a mix of everything that just went wrong. Now they had potential with the first, the first one, it's the first episode of the trilogy. It had potential, but man, the second one really just screwed up everything. So bad. There's no coming back from that. But I know we keep bouncing back between that and Mandalorian. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Because that's the plight of a Star Wars fan, man.
Yeah.
I hate what they did, but the Mandalorian is good.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So Rogue One versus Mandalorian. What are your thoughts?
That's hard to compare the two because
movie and series, I know. Yeah.
Whole series, which they have time to screw up still, right? So,
that is true.
I really liked Rogue One a lot. Might be my favorite Star Wars movie. I don't know, it might be blamable to say, but like Omar was actually the guy that got me on Rogue One, and I watched it and I was like, I thought that was great. That was a great movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, end of that movie, the guy and girl didn't kiss. You know why? Because it didn't make any sense. Did you see that part where they're both gonna die? They didn't make up. It doesn't make any sense. They didn't have that relationship.
Right.
So
that's my boy, the director.
Yeah.
Who?
Gareth Edwards. He directed Rogue One.
Oh.
Yeah. He's not very well known, but every movie he's done, I've been a huge fan of.
What's other movies?
Godzilla. I was a huge Godzilla fan growing up. When I found out he was directing that, I was like, oh my god, this is. I had chills.
Which one? Godzilla?
The first one, 2015.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was phenomenal.
I think it went downhill after that too, right? The
second one was the second one, but so
the second one was just all monster fights. I enjoyed it
because a lot of people complained. They're like, we want more monster fights. But for me, even like as a Godzilla fan, the first one, I was like, this is I love the approach because it made me feel like I was part of the world. I love that perspective. And Gareth Edwards is a pioneer. I feel like maybe that's a little extreme. He has to prove himself to be a pioneer, but he's definitely unique in how he directs movies. When I first discovered him, it was from a movie called Monsters. And it was about, like sometime in the near distant future, and then in the near future that there's like an alien invasion, in the U.S. or in the world, and Mexico is pretty much like the red zone, right? So it's all like sealed off from North America and South America. And so this guy, a reporter, agrees to save his boss's daughter who's stuck down there. And so they go through like the jungles infested with like the aliens and stuff. But it's interesting because the emphasis is on them as characters and what they go through, the challenges that they face, and less on alien fight scenes and this and that. It's not what it sounds like. And just the cinematography and the directing was so phenomenal. I was like, wow, this guy is great. I don't even know why I enjoyed the movie. But then I realized later is because it was just the way that it was just directed was just so enjoyable. And so from there, I found out he's doing Godzilla. I was super happy. Plus, Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad was going to be in there. I was like, that's another huge plus. And then I found out, being a Star Wars fan, that he was going to be directing Rogue One, and Donnie Yen from Ip Man was going to be in there. I was like, I had chills down my back when I heard that. And I went to the theater and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, this is the best Star Wars movie that I've ever seen. Knowing all of that, Saheed, I still think as far as the best Star Wars story, I still think is Rebels. Even after saying all that.
I mean, you're comparing a show to a movie.
I know, and a show has somewhat of an advantage because it's spread out. It's a much longer story, and you get to build the small intricacies, right? Yeah. But trying my best to kind of like narrow it down as much as I possibly can. Like I would still say I like Rogue One better than Mandalorian. I would easily say that, right? I'm enjoying Mandalorian. But as a Star Wars story, I definitely liked Rogue One a lot more because I felt like it connected the dots a lot better.
Yeah.
And Rebels, in my opinion, did that better than any other Star Wars story that I've ever come across.
Well, The Mandalorian, I mean, we're only in season 2, so it hasn't really had the time to connect the dots like that. Really, like it's really
Not
still
yet.
building up to it.
Yeah.
And the central story is real simple too.
Yeah, I will say this. I'm happy Nicholas was able to catch up because I did watch the Clone Wars, and I remember when Mandalorian like first came out. Like
You watched it. You rushed through it.
whatever, I rushed through it. Don't judge me. So I see the solid judgment from you, Omar. So but no, I did watch a good bit of it, and what's the lady's name? The red hair that's Mandalorian that's trying to take back the.
Bo-Katan?
Yeah, Bo-Katan.
That's her name. Yeah, I was so confused because I saw that and it talked about Mandalorian culture and how they were warlike or whatever, and then I hear this new Mandalorian where the guy never moves his.
Yeah.
So I'm happy they kind of finally explained that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's happening here.
And they're slowly getting to showing his face. When he was drinking the soup, it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they are going to have a big war, right? That's going to involve the Mandalorians and the Empire, and Ahsoka Tano is going to be a part of that. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. We shall see. We'll
probably be like a season 3. They'd probably build up because it's so slow moving. I would say they're going to take the rest of season 2.
Or in this one.
I don't think there's enough Mandalorians left to really say that they're going to have a war necessarily.
I don't know. Rebels,
they had.
Yeah, maybe not like a war, but.
Well, she's trying to reclaim Mandalore, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people on Mandalore, right, to kind of reclaim.
Well, they answer that in Rebels, actually. Like how many, like a lot of them are left. Like there are a lot of clans, though, that are still left. So they could do something, especially with the help of any remaining Jedi like Ahsoka Tano. And, the Resistance, the Rebel Alliance are still there, right?
Yeah.
So they're showing a lot more of the Rebel Alliance, too. And Ahsoka Tano is very deeply rooted with both the Mandalorians from, as we know, from the Star Wars Rebels and the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah. I do like how this is the opportunity to figure out like how the First Order came about, right?
That would be cool to see, yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of explain that, because when you see the First Order and like freaking,
yeah, just another something they just threw out there, like,
what? Why are these guys so thing?
Yeah, who are they?
Yeah. Snoke, where did this guy come from? Who is he? Oh, that's actually just Palpatine. What?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, 8 episodes, by the way.
I like.
Are you serious? Oh.
So there were episodes the last season too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They're trying not to kill it. I like it. I like how they're like short and sweet. But Omar, you're asking about favorite characters. I'm really liking Moff Gideon, and I'm hoping that they build on him. He seems like he's going to be a good villain for this series.
I agree. I like him as an actor too, especially since actually also Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I like him. And actually, I think Saeed asked about favorite characters.
Oh, the other guy on the podcast.
Okay. What's that whisper I hear?
Yeah, my favorite. I don't know right now in the Mandalorian. It's not Cara Dune. It's not. I really like Little Yoda, Baby Yoda. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna be a little cliche, and I'm actually just gonna say the Mandalorian. I'm gonna be. I was about
to say, like, you cannot say the Mandalorian. I was about to say.
You probably should.
But there's a lot of depth to his character. I think I really like him as an actor. You know,
He's a good actor.
contrary to a lot of the drama I've heard that he's been raising behind the scenes about threatening to quit because he wanted to show his face in season 1, and the director was like, "No, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
it
I
was my
did
wife
read
that told me
that.
about that.
I did read the rumor, so rumor alert, that they
Yeah.
said that he left halfway through season 2.
Oh
Apparently.
wow,
Um,
wow.
So I don't know if that's true or not,
Mm.
but I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
But you know, like, and again, not to go down too far down that path, you know, but I do understand where he's coming from, because like when you see your face, right, like if you're just behind, like, it's a job, right? It's your resume, like everything that you do, you know, you're like you're a movie or show, whatever, it's a resume. If no one can see your face, you're hiding behind a costume the whole time, you know, like, does that make it harder to sell yourself, right? And that's actually a question, right? So that's just a rhetorical question. So it's just something that, you know, I don't really consider that as a positive or a negative against it. I was just stating it. But aside from that, I do like his character, and I really want to see how he grows, especially since they've now shown Boba Fett again. So what that relationship is going to be like.
We didn't talk about that. Yeah.
No, we didn't. I meant to bring it up earlier and I forgot.
I was waiting so when I saw him in that one episode, I was waiting to see him again. I was like, oh snap. And then it was just like,
yeah,
I'm not going to see him anymore, am I?
No, I mean, they showed him for a reason at the last scene in that episode. So that does mean that, like, they have to bring that back. And
They don't have to, but we hope so. Right?
But I didn't like that. I didn't like that they brought him in there though. So he's dead. He should be dead.
So that's what I said
eaten,
online
bro.
until Star Wars nerds roasted me.
Nobody dies in Star Wars.
Yeah, no one dies in Star Wars. So I got roasted online from the Star Wars community because I was like,
Nerds.
commented on something. Yeah, right. I commented on something and I was like, yeah, I don't understand. It's not even. It's this new canon where he came back, and because he died, where Boba Fett died, because he, you know, it's new canon now that he's alive, because in the original canon he fell into that Sarlacc pit, right? I think that was the second Star Wars movie, Episode 5, I think it was. Where Luke Skywalker, it was either 5 or 6.
It was Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
The last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he died, and they're like, you know, thousands of years that it takes.
They just show him being swallowed.
Yeah, shows him being swallowed. All right, so
and apparently he stayed there for 1,000 years, for some reason. I don't know. They kind of.
So apparently it is old canon. I got roasted online, and people were like, "No, it is actually old canon that he did escape." So, but it was only in the books.
Whatever.
So, you know, anyhow.
Yeah.
I mean, if Darth Maul can come back, I mean, you know, the man was cut in half. So
actually, I don't think Saeed knows that.
No, I do know that actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, you really read all the spoilers. There's like no point watching Rebels now. You ruined the best Star Wars story out there.
Whatever, dude. Are you sad? You see, like, disappointed. He's like,
I am.
That's what's out there. Dang it,
I should have spoiled the Final Fantasy.
You robbed yourself.
Remake story for you.
You're not gonna spoil Final Fantasy remake story for me. That's I know how that was gonna end. I do want to show you guys something though, because they said that I'm surprised you guys. Well, I missed this, and I tried sharing you guys in a group chat, but you guys couldn't see it. A crew member was caught in like one of the scenes of the latest Mandalorian episode. And no one saw this.
That's what you were talking about.
Yes. So let me. Oh, I can't share my screen because the host disabled it.
Huh?
Great job. Great job, Omar.
Fucked up.
That incident sounds like what happens with Game of Thrones, where they had the cup of Starbucks next to everybody in the meeting.
Yeah.
I see now.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
You look at this.
Quickly.
Oh, there he is in the back.
Yeah, right there.
Look at his tabs. Screenshot. We'll get there. We got Rihanna next episode. We got Obama after that. And then after that, we got
about to blow up.
And we got Rosario Dawson, episode 8.